Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the second edition today of FPL Don't Panic. What I'm going to do in this one, I just decided I'm going to break my videos this week up into three. So I've done my Game Week 20 review of my disaster class. I don't want to talk about that anymore. It is done, it is gone. We just have to deal with the consequences. What I'll do in this one, I'm going to talk about my bus team for Game Week 21, my thoughts around that. It's going to be a fairly quick video. This isn't finalised. I think it's close to where I want it to be. And then I'll do a third video in a few days' time where I'll just sort of update my spreadsheet and stuff. And I'm just going to talk around how I'm going to try and claw back what I've dropped off in the last few game weeks, last 3 or 4 game weeks, down to about 400,000 from 107,000, and how we're going to try and rectify that, steady the ship, and start to climb the ranks again. So on with this one. Yeah, let's have a talk. First thing I will have been drawn to is Gordon has come in for Jota. We'll talk about that in a second. But starting goal, Pickford. Yeah, no problem. Happy enough. I'm still happy enough with Pickford as my keeper. His averages are good. He's still right there on the top keepers. Always fancy Everton to get a little run of clean sheets going. And Pickford to get some save points, so nothing to see there. As far as I'm concerned at the moment, he's just set and forget for the season. That's it. I'm done on keepers and messing around with them. Pickford's in, and we've rolled the dice, and given the way Everton play, got to be hopeful there's going to be a decent amount of clean sheets in there somewhere, and hopefully that will start with Villa at home. Hall, yeah, he's playing so well. He really is playing so well. He links up so well with Gordon, with little overlapping runs and getting his crosses in. Yeah, just looking so good. Nothing from him this game week just gone. A little bit unlucky at times, I thought. Great fixture at home to Wolves, who are again now looking shocking. Cunha will be back for Wolves for that fixture, so there is that threat, of course. But St James's Park, I just expect to see Wolves pin back from that game. Trying to come out and attack us is a little bit of Wolves' nature. The spaces will be there for little overlapping runs with Gordon, and I can see a decent chance for clean sheet. But I can definitely see an opportunity that there might be an attacking return there as well. Fingers crossed. Gabriel, Spurs at home. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? But I've got to play him. There may be more chance of an attacking return than a clean sheet. Arsenal's expected goals conceded is still, I think it may still be the best. It's certainly it's there with, you know, it's Liverpool, Forest and Arsenal, so they're right up there still, but they just keep finding a way, just in that lower than one expected goal, to concede that one. So that has got to change at some point, hasn't it? Anyway, against that Spurs defence, I seem to keep saying this every week, got to be a chance he's going to get his head on one, hasn't he? No, a nice corner in there, and you know, those nice Arsenal set. But he has been unlucky, in all honesty, not to get goals in the last few weeks. So hopefully we can get one this time, get a decent attacking return out of him, as well as hopefully the clean sheet. Trent can't leave a 7 million defender on the bench, can I? Or can I? The other option obviously would be to bring in Timber, but I want to spread bet this week. I think within the back four I've got there's a decent chance that we might pick up a clean sheet or two, or an attacking return. But my luck with defences so far this season, I certainly wouldn't be banking on it. Midfield becomes interesting now. Enzo will, I believe, leave my team at some point in the next 2 to 3 game weeks. But for now, I do think he's been unlucky. But there's just better options out there now that I think are scoring more consistently and scoring bigger than even when he had his little run going. There's just better options there, and we'll talk about that in the strategy video. So he is in for this week. He'll probably be in for the next 2 game weeks. But I think he will need to go. We'll talk about more of that in the strategy video in a few days' time. Salah. The only question around Salah this game week, and I think we will all be in the same boat. I think this is the first time in a few weeks we have a captaincy dilemma. Now, the safe money would be to put it on Salah with his high effective ownership. I believe we'll find about 60% of the game will be captaining Salah, and I'll be keeping an eye on various surveys and things that some of the other content providers do, just to try and get a feel for that. But my guess is it's going to be about 60% captaining Salah, and with that high effective ownership and knowing that Salah can haul against any team, do we bet against it and go with Palmer, Bournemouth at home? Palmer is not as consistent as Salah. You know, he'll have the odd blank, but he will also have your 15, 16, 17 point hauls against the lesser teams. Is Bournemouth the lesser team? I don't think so. They will concede chances. They'll certainly concede chances. And Chelsea's attack, whilst not firing on all cylinders, would you say it's misfiring? They've hit the post so many times. They've been miracle saves. I think there's been a bit of bad luck there, and they've also got a soft underbelly, Chelsea, in that defence. But at Stamford Bridge, Bournemouth home, I fancy they're going to get 2 or 3 goals. Is Palmer going to be involved? Because we've seen Chelsea score 4 or 5 goals early in the season and Palmer not getting a return. Don't know, but it would be a hell of a differential if it came off, but there's risk involved with that as well. Is Gordon. So yeah, brought in Gordon for Jota. My Jota experiment didn't really work. If it had come off, I'd have been called a genius. I got 1 goal out of it for the 2 games. Very relieved to see him not score against my team, Man United, as I mentioned in the last video. So Gordon's in. Gordon is looking really, really good. I mean, he's actually looking excellent. Should have had 2 goals in his last match and maybe an assist as well. But that link up he's got with Hall in particular down that left, now that he's back out on the left. And we'll talk about Murphy shortly, because I think he is another option. And I did consider him at just over 5 million. And his numbers are very, very comparable to Gordon. Higher on the assist side, slower on the goal side, but 2 million less. I did give him serious consideration. But I've gone with Gordon. Number of reasons for that. He does have a higher expected goals. His link-up play with Hall down that left is superb, and now he's back on that left because they've got Murphy on the right. The team, Newcastle as a team, look much better balanced, which is seen by their results over the last 4 to 5 game weeks. You know, Gordon and Hall doing those little overlaps, etc., just working so well together, and he's a great expected goal threat, and he's on set pieces, and he's just looking good. He's just looking good. But the swinger for me is he's scoring away from home now. He wasn't doing that last year. Last year, his, you'd see it was like schizophrenic. It was like 0 away from home, 15 points at home, 0, 15. And now he's actually got much more consistency in his game. He's back on the left. He's looking good. I'm backing him for some big returns over the next few weeks. I hope. And then we've of course got Ahmad with Southampton at home. Now Ahmad may lead my team sometime in this next 5 game week period. And I love him. I've waxed lyrical about this young fella, but it might be time in this next strategy, and we'll talk about it, as I say, in the next few days, to bring Bruno back as I look to just create this Leicester, so real solid, as close to premium-ish as I can midfield, because that's where I need to start seeing returns and goals coming from again, like I had 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I need consistency. I need consistency of return. But I do like him, Matt. I think this is a good fixture for him. But I have said, he seems to return against the big teams and not against the weaker teams. But I think now with Bruno and Ugarte now sort of commanding that midfield a bit better, now that they're back from their suspensions, you've got to fancy United score 3 or 4 against Southampton, don't you? Don't you? Someone reassure me. I don't know, you just don't know what you're going to get with United, do you? But it does look like a great fixture, so he's obviously going to play in that, and fingers crossed he can get a return or 2. Moving up front, this probably is one of the benching dilemmas, I suppose. Because I've obviously got Trent playing defence, and at the moment I'm saying I'm going to play Wood up front. And I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know damn well if I bench Wood, he will end up getting a goal. So let's call it, might be a little bit of a hedge my bets there. Either Trent will keep a clean sheet or Wood will get a goal. Because what are my options? I could bring in Watkins. I'm not 100% sure if he's even going to start with Duran back from his suspension. Will Watkins get game time? Yes, he will, but it's also Everton away. Who do I fancy more? You know what? Forest are good. It would not surprise me if they nick a 1-0 win in this game. So I'm going to go with Wood for now. Let me know what you think, but I think I'm going to go with Wood for now. He's been, over the last 39 game weeks, Premier League matches, he has scored 26 goals. That's 12 million. Would be happy to be paying 12 million for those sort of returns. But it's not. It's Wood, and he's a lot cheaper than that. So I think you've got to just play him week in, week out. I brought him in for a reason. He is consistently returning, and I needed some goals from other avenues, and of course he did return this week. Just the one goal, a couple of bonus points. Yep, take it every week. Take it every day of the week. Isak, definitely a captain consideration, isn't he? Yeah, Wolves at home. Wolves leaky. Went down 3-0 to and Forest are not that prolific. It's usually 1-0, 1 or 2 goals, but Forest went there and got 3 goals. Wolves at St James's Park could get eaten alive, and Isak will get at least 3 or 4 chances in that match, guarantee, and he could easily put 2 or 3 away. I would say he's my second favourite for captaincy, for me anyways, above Palmer and above Gordon. But do I dare move away from Salah? It's high risk, but it could be high reward. But at the moment, I haven't worked it out. We'll have a look at it later when I do my review. But I think I'm at least 30 points now outside the top 100k. It could be more than that. An Isak Hall, if Salah only gets 1 or gets nothing, could close that gap right back down to maybe 10 points or something again. But equally, if Salah hauls and Isak doesn't, and I've got the captain's armband on Isak, I could suddenly find myself 50 or 60 points outside the top 100k. It's a tricky one. I'd say of all the questions I've got for you guys, that would be the one I ask: where are you putting your captain's armband? Or are you humming and hawing about it as well? I think I'm going to go Salah, but it could be a last-minute decision. I'll be keeping an eye on what the other content providers do in their surveys, and I'll update before the game week on that. But that high effective ownership, and if Salah hauls, and he can haul against everyone, we've seen it time and time again. It'll hurt if you haven't got the armband on him. Then the bench, Watkins, Everton away. I think I'll keep him there. There's the minutes risk, and Watkins, spoiler alert when I talk about my strategy, Watkins will be moved out. I want that money to bolster that whole midfield, with Enzo and potentially Ahmad, and I'm going to say these names, and it is not definitely these guys, but it could be bringing Mbeumo and Bruno back. They're the proven guys, and even when they do have 2 or 3 weeks where they don't do anything, they will still come in with the points eventually, as we've seen. Oh my God! And Mbeumo's the one that really killed me this week with that haul. Absolutely murdered my rank. It was like 19 points. Konza, I could risk bringing him into the defence, I suppose, if I did want to go with a 4-4-2, because Everton, even at Goodison Park, not exactly likely to score. But I don't know which I trust less, Everton's ability to score or Aston Villa's inability to keep a clean sheet. Don't know. I don't think I'll play him. I don't think I will. And then Timber's back, obviously. Timber will be moved out. Again, spoiler alert. For who? It is going to probably be a Milenkovic or an Aina or even a Huijsen, Bournemouth. I'm just going to be looking to free up money, obviously, to do things with that midfield and potentially up front eventually, which could be potentially a move towards Haaland. That's one to have a conversation about in a few days' time. That's it. So that is the bus team. I think that is going to be the team. Things to be interested from you guys. Captaincy dilemma. We are back on a captaincy dilemma. I think that's a good thing, because it does give an opportunity to get a decent rank rise, because the game will split on this one. I think it's going to be roughly 50 or 60 on Salah, 20 on Palmer, 20 on Isak, and 10% going somewhere else. Some people taking punts. We'll see how that one plays out. leave it at that. I'll be back in a few days' time with the spreadsheet updated and talking about the next 5 game week strategy. Hope you guys have had a great game week and are looking forward to the next one. Lots of football. I think the deadline for you will be on Tuesday. So yeah, lots to think about before then. Take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I'll see you in a few days' time. Bye bye.